All right, guys. Monday, we left off with victory in Europe. So we talked about Hitler committing suicide. Now we're going to switch and focus on the Pacific. Know that 7 presidents served in World War II, kind of a cool fact. But we're talking Pacific today. Um, the war is still going on. One thing students ask about every year is the kamikaze pilots in World War II. Know that kamikaze pilots are not a thing at the beginning of the war. It's something that Japan starts to do towards the end of the war when they start to become desperate that they have these suicide pilots. So keep that in mind. Um, so if you see this image, this is a great image you always see about World War II, famous statue depicted of it. It's U.S. Marines after the Battle of Iwo Jima raising the U.S. flag. So if you see that image, know Iwo Jima. One thing they have to do in the Pacific to help guarantee that they're going to win the war is Harry S. Truman, after he becomes president, after FDR passes away, he gets presented with the opportunity to drop an atomic bomb. The U.S. had first heard about Germany developing an atomic bomb from Albert Einstein. So the U.S. they start doing research and trying to develop our own atomic bomb. This is known as the Manhattan Project. It's led by J. Robert Oppenheimer, and they are successful. They do test July 16th, 1945, in New Mexico, and the bomb works. They have the capability. A couple weeks later, August 6th, Truman gives the call. They drop the bomb on Hiroshima. 3 days later, they drop a second bomb on Nagasaki. Hiroshima, 70,000 killed immediately, 48,000 buildings destroyed, over 100,000 die over time through radiation poisoning and lung cancer, different types of cancer. Nagasaki, 40,000 killed immediately, 60,000 injured, and again, hundreds of thousands from radiation poisoning and cancer later on. So these atomic weapons, they have that immediate effect of killing, but they also kill even more long lasting. This is one of my favorite videos I show all year. Unfortunately, we don't have time. It's about 14 minutes long. But if you guys decide to watch it, go here. You can look at it. You can see, okay, it'll take you through the years, show you where the blasts are. Here it's in 97. U.S. has dropped over 1,000 nuclear weapons. Soviet Union's at 700. You can tell that's a result. That's 50 years of Cold War. France, Great Britain. This number down here is the total number of weapons dropped. Lots of kids think every year that hey, there's been 2 bombs dropped. Well, there was the one in New Mexico to test it, and then thousands of more tests later on. It stops in uh, 92 for the U.S. and 98 India and Pakistan drop a couple more, and North Korea has continued testing, and they've since slowed down, but they just want to show they have that capability. So, victory in Japan Day after the war is over. This is the end of it. You see that famous image of the sailor kissing the nurse. Uh, know that uh, not just the 2 atomic bombs being dropped, but also the Soviet Union declaring war on Japan is another factor, and then finally um, surrendering. There's casualties for you guys. If you wanted to look at that. After the war, the Nuremberg trials break out, where the world is looking at the German officers and what they did with the Holocaust. Holocaust. I think you guys know a lot about it already, so I'm not going to go into too deep of a dive with it. And your assignment has to do with it as well. But know that the Nuremberg laws were passed in 35, saying Jews couldn't be German citizens, they could not marry non-Jews, or Jews couldn't be German citizens, and Germans could not marry non-Jews. Yeah, uh, Jews couldn't marry non-Jews. Sorry. It limited the kinds of work they could do. There's also in 38 the Night of Broken Glass. It's a night of persecution for the Jewish people. We talked about with our guest speakers earlier in the year. There's a flood of refugees taking place. Lots of people are trying to get out of Germany, but Germany is forcing the Jews into these ghettos. It eventually leads to the concentration camps, and the final solution is the genocide